let's start with some Origin news, and we all know it. Teddy saves the day. James Tedesco has been called into the New South Wales team for Wednesday night. Unfortunately for Dylan Edwards, he had a quad strain and will miss the game, and James Tedesco is back in the New South Wales team. Thoughts?
You want to go, Buzz?
Well, I'm very happy for him. And it was a toss-up selection. Edwards poked his nose in front at the end. I was very, very surprised by your comments yesterday.
What did I say?
That you'd be embarrassed to be recalled.
I would, but that's just me, Buzz, right? So that's my own feelings, and I put myself in those shoes. If I got overlooked, I felt bad when I was injured hanging around players, right? I actually did. When I broke my neck in 2001 and Elf come back in the third game, I actually felt embarrassed to be around the guys. That wasn't about Tedesco. That was about if I got called back into camp with being overlooked and the captaincy taken off me, I would have a funny, guilty, embarrassment.
Sure. Teddy has handled this whole thing with such enormous class. Texting Dylan Edwards originally, wishing him the best. Would have been shattered losing the captaincy, but guarantee you when
I'm just telling you right now, he's not going to feel like he did when it's his first jersey to getting this jersey back. And that's the point I'm trying to get across.
When I heard that you said that he'd be embarrassed, I wasn't sure. Exactly. Now it makes sense to me, right? And I understand what Gordy's saying. Gordy's spot on. And this is just being honest. You wouldn't feel the same. Like if you get called back in after being dropped, you were the second option. And listen, I've got no doubt Teddy's going to have a great game. And he only just missed out. We all know that. And he is blue through and through. But there would be I wouldn't even know if it's embarrassment, but it'd be a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow when you head back into camp.
Could not disagree with you two guys more. He wants to play now, game 2. He wants to play game 3. He wants to remain the Australian captain for the end of the year, and he wants to steer the Roosters in.
Yeah, we all do. Well, I'll take it to
you were sort of suggesting he'd be feeling
We've both played Origins. We've both been dropped. I have, and I know the feeling.
Buzz.
Okay, I won't have an opinion.
Buzz,
you can have your opinion.
Have you ever been rejected, Buzz? Have you ever been rejected?
Many, many times.
How did it make you feel?
At a nightclub or?
I felt ordinary, but
there you go. That's the point.
But that's all. That's all we're saying. No one's questioning
whether he's going to come in and get man of the match.
I thought you said he'd be embarrassed and he might be awkward.
I said I'd be embarrassed.
I don't think there's any doubt he'd feel a little bit awkward when he first got into camp. But once he's in camp, he knows all those guys, right? He's played a lot of football with them.
There's 6 debutants or 5 debutants.
But he knows those guys, Gordy. I think he'd settle quickly into stride. But I'm sure initially there was maybe a little bit of discomfort there, particularly with Jakey. I mean, Jakey
said no. He could have said no. I'm going to retire.
Well, how's he going to say no?
He could have. He wants to
retire
play
from that footy. Though. He wants to play for Australia at the end of the year.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. He'll be fine.
He was never going to say no.
Well, he could have. He could have been really upset at the snubbing in the first place.
Who would they have went for if he'd said no?
They could have moved Crichton to fullback. I don't know what they would have done.
That would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Are you happy now? Because I wasn't sure whether you wanted Edwards or Teddy there.
No, well, I can't work you two out saying you might feel awkward and it might affect, he'll be fine.
That's how we feel. So you're telling me that I wouldn't feel that way?
No, I have not played on that arena like you two.
Just rejection in general, Buzz.
Okay, now let's move on from, or not move on from it. If he plays great, he brains it, New South Wales win, does he stay in the team or do they go back to Edwards?
Well, that's the difficulty of it all, isn't it, Braith? Because if he does come out and brain it, I think they're too far down the path. I don't think Dylan Edwards will be fit. He won't play before game 2. So if that's the case, I'm not sure you can pick Dylan Edwards in game 2. There's every chance he won't be back before then. So I don't know that you pick him. But if Teddy comes out, brains it, wins man of the match, they win the game.
But all signs are leading to that because Dylan stayed in camp. He keeps on learning the plays. He's getting familiar with what's happening in the organisation.
I think it's a really difficult issue for them. But I think you've gone down the path with Dylan. I think if Dylan's fit and he gets a game in before Origin 2 and plays well, I think you've got to go back to him.
What if they scrape it in, Teddy plays solid, and they just get a win New South Wales?
Well, then you change it again.
You change it.
I think we've
You
got
change
to.
a winning team.
Yes.
Buzz?
It's too hypothetical. It really is.
How's it hypothetical?
It's hypothetical because we don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to be one or two things. It's
going
to be one or two things.
Yeah.
I'm asking, it's either he brains it and they win, because if they lose, they'll go back to Edwards, right?
Yes.
I'm asking if he brains it, he kills it, New South Wales win, That's one side. Or he just plays average and they win. What do? There's only two options.
Yeah, well, let's worry about that Thursday morning.
You're the best of hypotheticals. What do you mean?
We don't have to worry about it now.
All of a sudden,
you know what?
all of a sudden now we're just going to wait till the result.
Okay, I'll answer it. Hypothetically, if we win, I'd keep the same side.
Hallelujah. We got there eventually.
Yes.
I agree with you, Buzz.
Yes.
I'm on the same page.
I would. I'd keep the same side.
I think you've
really.
made a decision to change it. I think you just press on. If you think Dylan Edwards is a better footballer, which clearly Madge does, then you make the change. You've got to have your best team. And Dylan's in his best team, according to Madge.
There's a tricky one for Madge. It's been a hard lead up to this first game with a few injuries for New South Wales.